Thank you very much. I truly appreciate it, and I appreciate the many kind words that a lot of you have offered me over the last couple of days. It means a lot. I'd like to add my congratulations to John Owens, Rod, and Wayne Martin, and Jim Scott. You guys are here year after year doing amazingly consistent, great stuff, and it's really an honor for me to be in your company. And really, congratulations to everybody that's been recognized tonight. I know that there's one overriding reason why all of you are here, and that reason is simply a lot of hard work. So my hat is off to all of you. As Janet said, this is my 4th year here, so I should take a few minutes and thank some folks without whom I would not be here. I started out in the water conditioning business back in February of 1971, having just returned home from Vietnam. And I was attending the University of Akron and about to be married in a few months, and I needed a job. My dad was a salesman for the local Culligan Soft Water Service Company. And he must have been a pretty good salesman because he sold the owner of that company on interviewing me, and I went to work delivering Culligan portable exchange water softener tanks and 100-pound bags of softener salt. I used to knock on the customer's door and wheel their tank in and yell, "Culligan, man!" I was standing in the back of our shop one afternoon, not long after starting there, and a very young and handsome Jim Cooley came walking through the door carrying a little hand-built K30. And as I listened to Jim explain the concept of the Kinetico softener, I can still remember thinking to myself, no motor, no timer, no solenoids, no micro switches, this thing will never work. Fortunately, Al Horn, the owner of that dealership, was smart enough to recognize that he was seeing something revolutionary, and very quickly we were selling a lot more K30s and K60s than we were Culligan Mark IIs and Mark V. I believe the first time I visited Newberry back then, I only saw 3 employees. Bill Pryor, Jim Cooley, and a young guy named Skinner who was hand drilling holes in the side of salt tanks and screwing the overflow elbows on. I don't know what happened to Mr. Skinner, but I hear Mr. Cooley and Mr. Pryor have done pretty well since then, and I suppose none of us would really be here tonight if it wasn't for those 2 gentlemen. So, thank you. And that Culligan dealership has done okay since then too. We are now Clearwater Systems. And I would like to thank Al Horn for giving a young veteran, just turned 21 and back from overseas, a job all those years ago. I know Al had his concerns about me at the time because I barely weighed 150 pounds. And some of those Culligan tanks weighed a lot more than I did. He wasn't really sure I could handle it, but I did. Thanks, Al. I'd like to thank Dick Abel, who has been the president of Clearwater Systems for most of those years, for his guidance and leadership. Dick has been instrumental in taking Clearwater from one location in Akron, Ohio back then to multiple locations in 3 states today. And Dick is also the individual that about 5 years ago relieved me of the management position that I was in and moved me into sales. Thank God. So Dick, you can either pat yourself on the back for making such a smart move, or you can scratch your head and wonder why it took you over 35 years. I'd like to thank my fellow Clearwater employees, the office staff and the customer service group, and plant and warehouse folks, and service techs and installers and delivery guys, all of whom work very hard. And without their hard work, Clearwater Systems certainly would not be what it is, nor would I be able to sell the equipment that I've been able to sell. And I think it speaks highly of Al Horn and Dick Abel and the Clearwater organization that an amazing number of those employees have been with Clearwater Systems for well over 2, 3, and even like myself, 4 decades. I'd like to thank my wife, Debbie, who is also my business partner. A little over a year ago, Debbie and I opened a yoga studio, and she runs it. And if there was an award for the #1 yoga studio manager, she would be up here receiving it because she just does a fantastic job. My life is infinitely richer with her a part of it, and Debbie and I also have a wedding anniversary coming up here in about 7 days, so being up here gives me the opportunity to publicly say, happy anniversary, honey, I love you. And finally, a very sincere thanks to each and every one of the very smart and talented folks at Kinetico for all the great things that they do and for bringing us out here and rewarding us so well for the job that we have done and for creating the finest water quality improvement products in the world. Thanks very much.